Shining a light on love, loss, and friendship with intimacy and thoughtfulness. Love, Brooklyn follows the story of Roger, a writer navigating complicated relationships with his ex and his current lover as he relies on the support of his best friend. It's a modern romance set against the backdrop of a Brooklyn that's changing just as quickly as the people who call it home. Let's take a look.
Communication, we had our time, but it just didn't work out for us. We just hanging out.
What if it came up? You two getting back together, what would you do?
It won't come up.
But what if it did?
Oh, I want to see more. Joining us now is the star of Love, Brooklyn, actor and producer André Holland. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
So in Love, Brooklyn, you play, of course, Roger, a writer who's really juggling love, friendship, your own creative endeavors. So how was it bringing Roger to life?
It was amazing. It was amazing. One of the things I really wanted to do and that really excited me about the movie is that it felt like a real contemporary love story for our time, for this time. And as a Brooklyn resident myself, I got to shoot a lot of it right in my own backyard, which was amazing. And then, inviting a bunch of my friends to join me on the journey, like Nicole Bahari and DeWanda Wise and Roy Wood Jr. and the whole cast, it really was a wonderful experience.
And from what I understand, you guys have been friends for a long time. Is that right?
Yeah.
So how was that? I'm sure that had to have an influence on the chemistry on screen, knowing each other so well.
Absolutely. So Nicole Bahari and I go back to drama school days. I went to NYU. And when I was in school, she was at Juilliard. And so I used to go to Juilliard and see her plays. And I thought, man, she's incredible. And then we did a movie together, 42, about Jackie Robinson. And so that was the first time we got a chance to work together. DeWanda and I also went to NYU together. Cassandra Freeman, who's in it, is an NYU friend. So yeah, we all kind of have come from this New York theater ecosystem. And I've always wanted to work together. So the chemistry was like instant as soon as we got on set.
Of course. I love that you all have stayed connected over the years. So you've mentioned that you don't often see Black people in these small love stories. So why was it important for you to bring that perspective to the screen?
Well, for me personally, I love those movies. Those old, 90s, rom-coms, the When Harry Met Sally's and, Love Actually and You've Got Mail.
Classics.
And all of those movies. And then there was a moment where, Black folks were in those movies, like Love Jones and Love and Basketball and all these other great movies. And even going back further than that to, Claudine and some of the older ones. I wanted to make something that felt like in that lineage, I see myself as a person I'm a very romantic person myself by nature, and I wanted to dive into a story like this and to do it with friends. And as it turned out, so many people in the cast came up to me and said, man, thank you for doing this because I'm getting to do something here that I've not gotten to do in the industry. So that's from our first time director, myself playing this romantic lead. It was my first time doing that. Roy Wood Jr. has talked extensively about how he's known for doing a certain kind of comedy, but how he had been longing to do something more on the serious side. The women in the movie, DeWanda and Nicole, both said, we've never gotten a chance to play women like this. And so in a way, everybody got a chance to do something that they've longed to do, and it was a really, really special experience.
Yeah, it seems as though there was a need for this. This is what they were missing.
Yeah.
And not only are you a lead actor in this film, but you're also a lead producer. So how was that, balancing both roles? That seems like a lot.
Hard. Yeah, that was hard. A lot harder than I thought it was going to be. But I had wonderful support. My production company Harper Road we have a great team in place. Steven Soderbergh is one of our executive producers, and so he was there every step of the way to help us bring it into the world. We had another team of producers, Lisa and Kate, who were really helpful. It really was a group effort, and I think all of us felt like, we're in a moment where I think the world could use a bit of love, and I think people really want to see movies, particularly movies with Black leads, where we're not relying on trauma or violence, but we're just watching these people try and move their lives forward in these small incremental ways, And this is the kind of movie I think that you could go out to have a date night. You could bring your group of girlfriends or guy friends or whatever and just go in and really enjoy yourself and then have a lot to talk about on the other side of it.
Like a feel-good movie.
Yeah.
Those are the vibes I'm getting from it.
That's what we wanted to do. A feel-good, vibey, sexy movie with great music and beautiful folks and, some interesting things to think about.
And a really neat backdrop as well. You live in New York City, and over the years, New York City and Brooklyn, they've changed so much. much over the
Yeah.
last couple of years. Now, Love Brooklyn is set in a historic place, historic city that's also changing. So how important was it for you to capture the true essence of Brooklyn in this film?
Well, I think it was so important. I live in Bed-Stuy, which is a neighborhood that's, gentrifying at light speed, but it's such an amazing community of folks there. I'm from Alabama originally, and in a lot of ways, living in Brooklyn feels like Alabama, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
I know, it's a hot take, but I think it's true. Like, when I walk out my door in the mornings, I know Miss Lorraine across the street is gonna be out there, sitting on the stoop, and I know the kids in the neighborhood, and there's always someone looking out for you. Even if you don't feel it all the time or are aware of it, they're there. People are always paying attention. And I think that's so special. And so that's one of the things I wanted to highlight in this movie is this sort of community aspect of Brooklyn. And I think the meta narrative of us as a community coming together to make it also supports that. So pretty much every location in the movie were, friends who were willing to say, come and shoot in my restaurant, or you could have my cafe for the afternoon, or, someone's apartment. We shot in my backyard. We really used every little space that we could, and people were willing to let us in. So it was really special.
That's fantastic. Really looking forward to the film.
Thank
And we
you.
know it was a big hit at the Sundance Film Festival this year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Cannot wait to watch. Andre, thank you so much for being here. Really
you for
appreciate
having
your
me.
time. Love Brooklyn opens in New York on August 29th and in theaters nationwide September 5th.